Welcome back everybody to Zombie's Garage. Today we're going to be working on a 2000 Series Cub Cadet lawn tractor. Mine in particular is going to be the problem case today. It is a model number 2146, about an early 2000 series, although the problems we're going to be talking about kind of covers all Cub Cadet lawn tractors from the mid 90s until the early 2000s, shaft driven, usually designated 2000 series and some 3000 series. Basically the problem I'm having lately is there's a massive vibration in the steering column, and you can hear it rattle on too. And what happens is the drive shaft is right next to the steering column, and when the drive bushings start to wear out, it starts to vibrate against the steering column because they're right next to each other. And that causes a massive vibration in steering, and it just gets worse. And mine has gotten to a point that it's just unbearable and it needs to be changed out. So that's what we're going to work on today, is how to replace the drive bushings on this lawnmower today. So join me and we'll see what we can do about getting this thing back fighting shape and cutting my grass again. Well, as I've said, here's our steering column right here. There's our drive shaft. You can see the mark being left on the drive shaft from pretty much kissing the steering column right here. And best way to tell it, I took the battery out, by the way. This is the engine compartment. It's vibrating right up against, or hitting right against there, because we got a little bit of wiggle in the drive shaft there. Now the steering shaft does have a base plate at the bottom here that you can shim back and forth to get a little more clearance. I'm going to do that also, put a little more distance between that and the drive shaft. But with the wiggle in here, though, we do need to replace the bushings. It should be tighter than that. So we're going to work on getting that apart. First thing we're going to do, get the flashlight off there. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get the seat off here. We got 2 bolts, one on either side here. We're going to unbolt those, get the seat off. And then from there, well, if I didn't put my flashlight down, there are a couple screws on the blade height selector. Right, let's see here. There we go. We got one right up there. There we go. We got one up there and 2 on the bottom. Well, no, one on the bottom. Might be one on the other side. Yeah, there's one on the other side. So we pull that off there. And then there's a couple bolts underneath each mat on either side. And we're going to undo those. So we're going to work first on getting the seat off here. I don't think that's going to be too interesting. We'll unbolt this, though. I'll start showing that part of the video. And hopefully this goes fairly easy, because I haven't actually done this job before. And I'm just going by what the manual's telling me to do. Just want to point out a special note. Don't lose these bolts. These are a special shoulder bolt. So it gives it room to be able to twist back and forth in here. Take the seat off. Alright, put the seat off to the side. Oops. Alright, next up, we're going to get the screws off of this. And then it's a little too dark, I'm not going to video it, but I'll video that part taking the cover off. Man, silly me. I completely forgot about one other thing. I mean, obviously got the cover off there. The pedals for the drive and the brake. Let's see here. Right here, we gotta undo this bolt, and then there's a bolt up under here, and pretty much they kind of lodge into these lugs right there, and we'll just get those things out. Plus, there's an adjustment for your pedal here too, if you ever need to adjust your pedal or anything like that. That said, we're going to go ahead and get these unbolted, pull them up out of the way so we can unbolt this big tin here. As I said, we got one bolt there, one bolt there, and basically the same on that side, and then a bolt there and a bolt there. And once those are out, we could be able to take the fuel cap off too. We'll be able to take this whole cover off here and get right to the drive shaft. Alright, so here's the meat and potatoes. We got 4 bolts that hold this side on, 4 bolts that hold on this side, and basically what we're going to do is, I think I'm actually going to pull this out and power wash this now tomorrow. That said, we are going to go ahead and unbolt these 4 bolts and swap out our new barrel bushings. The barrel bushings look like these. They're not much, they're very actually small. I only bought 1 pack. These are $30 a pack. I'm kind of hoping I can mix and match, fix my problem. It probably won't in the long run, but if I have to, I'll buy some more. And then this is the hydrostatic. There's the filter down there. Might not be a bad time to change my filter right now, but we'll see. But, ooh, wow. Old wasp nest too up under there. I said this thing's set for a little while. Close. I put this back on. Yep. Yeah, let's set up the camera. We'll get these 4 bolts out of here and get to work on this. Now, this shaft is going to want to move on you. And basically what I'm doing is giving it a little smack, because if you try to turn it otherwise, it's just going to want to spin the shaft too, because there's just enough pressure on there. In fact, let me go get my bolt holder here. They are absolute lifesavers. That's a different kind of Loctite, green. So we got to undo the other side. So we'll be right back. I'm going to get the other side undone. It's not much of a view because lack of light, and we'll get this drive shaft out. Hey everyone, it's been a couple days because I pulled a muscle in my back lifting up the deck incorrectly. And in those couple days I was able to sit down, drink a beer, look this mower all over, and I realized there was a bit of an issue with the manual that they have, that Cub Cadet actually made for this mower. And that goes into getting the drive shaft out and how to get it out of there. So I reviewed, looked it over a little bit, and I think I came up with a plan to get the drive shaft out of here because it doesn't look like it's going to come out the easy way, or the way they say it's going to come out. So let's take a look at it. Alright, basically, Cub Cadet says, remove the bolts there, remove the bolts there, and then pull the drive shaft out. That's not exactly possible for 2 reasons. A, there's a little bit of a nub on this hydrostatic transmission that pokes out about, I don't know, I'd say about halfway out here, and it locks the drive shaft in there, as you can hear. Second issue is right here. There is no room to slide this shaft out with the collar on there. So I came up with a little bit of a plan. Basically what we're going to do next is we're going to loosen up the 4 bolts that hold the motor down to the frame. We're going to slide the motor forward the best we can, and I'm going to take this bolt out here, the one on the other side, loosen this bolt up here. There's actually a rivet on the other side. And then what I'm going to do next is pull the steering shaft out. We're going to take it off, just take the whole shaft out. That will allow us to take this dash and tilt it. So it'll give us some room to slide the drive shaft out. That's the current plan right now. I think the first thing I'm going to do is deal with this, because I'm going to need to take the steering column out along with the steering wheel. Take these brackets off for the parking brake and the cruise control. And we'll get these bolts out of the way next too. So let me get the camera set up and we'll get to work on that. Alright, so we're going to take these out. There's a Phillips screw on either side here. So we're going to unscrew these. And come on, there we go. And that's basically it. Put the screw in there so it doesn't get lost, and we're going to get the other one out of the way. Alright, those arms are out of the way. I'll take our camera. Not going to have a very good view of this one, but I'll show you what I can do. Basically, we got a clip right, well, let me get out of the way of my camera, some way, shape, or form. There we go. We got a clip right there that holds the bottom of the drive shaft in. We not drive shaft, steering shaft. We undo this, we can pull the whole steering wheel out. So we're gonna get that clip out, and we'll pull that steering wheel out. All right, with that clip out. Oh, that's loud. And it's nice and tight too. There we go. Whew, greasy. All right, let's get this out of the way, and then we're gonna undo the bolts and get this dash lifted up. All right, I went ahead and already loosened this one up here. We got the bottom one here. There we go, and that should be enough to get the drive shaft out of there. Oops. Oh, okay. I did not know it did that. I didn't know the dash slipped off that easily. Well, good to know. Luckily, I don't need much more than that anyways. Okay. Let's undo the engine bolts, and that way we can get this drive shaft out of here next. Alright, as you can see, no more drive shaft. Here's what's left of the bushing. And there is a little bit of damage from the axle drive shaft flopping around in there. I'm going to clean up these sharp edges here with a grinder and try to fix it up the best I can before we put this back together. This too got chewed up a little bit, as you can see, marks right there. Like I said, I try to clean this up the best I can, but it looks like it was doing a lot of rattling around in there. And I try to get the rest of those chunks out, because I think they fell down in there, although I don't think they'll cause much in the way of damage. Some of them fell out and around. There's another one. Alright. Yeah, let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, get all these, deburr this out, and do the best I can, and I'll show you how to get these bushings back in here so we can put this back together. Alright, so we deburred it the best we could. Not much we can really do. Some of these are really, teeth are really messed up. But it's just going to be what it's going to be for right now. Let's get these in here. The job itself usually isn't that hard, although I've never done this with them messed up like this before, and the last one I did was a much older model, so I'm kind of hoping it's pretty similar, though. Basically, you don't put it all the way on there, just enough to hold them in place. You just give them a little rock here and there, to get them in place. There we go. 2 more. There we go. And that's it. They're in. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that'll hold together, but I'm not expecting it. The other side's not too bad. The bushings look great on the other side. And it looks like it just, once this one started to let go, it just beat the hell out of it. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this in the future. But let's get this drive shaft back in there. Okay, so we got the front drive shaft in, and we get a good focus. That'd be awesome. Come on, there we go. There. No? Yeah. Anyways, we got the front drive shaft, well, front of the drive shaft in there, and we got the back in there. I put 2 bolts in on either end because I wanted to line it up before I start bolting it down. Plus, trying to guide those bolts in there blind sucks. We're going to put Loctite on all 8 bolts, the 4 up here, 4 over here. But first things first, we're going to Loctite this, torque it down. These should be torqued to 18 to 20 foot-pounds, according to the manual. So we're going to torque those down, and then I'm going to shift the engine back until it's seated flush against here like it was originally. And then I'll tighten these down to, again, 18 to 20 foot-pounds. And then after that, everything is basically reverse order. We'll put the dash back in place. No, there we go. We'll put the dash back in place here. Put the steering column back in there, and we're going to start reassembling everything. The exact opposite order that we took everything apart. So bear with me for a minute. I'm going to start getting everything back together. If I run into anything interesting, I'll put it in. Otherwise, I'm just going to focus on getting this mower back together again. Ta-da! Alright, everything's back together. If I can get a good shot at it. Yep, everything's back together. I'm not going to fire it up tonight. I'll put the battery back in tomorrow. Get the deck back on tomorrow. I mean, y'all have seen that part before. That said, yeah, it's pretty much all back together. Should be good to go. Should be good to run at this point. Make sure I got the clearance I need on the drive shaft. Where's my flashlight at? Oh yeah. Look at that distance between the drive shaft and the steering column. Much better. Much more appropriate. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, yeah. Tomorrow I'll put the battery back in. I'm not going to worry about the deck right away. I'll drive it around, see how everything works. And if everything works as it should, I'll put the deck back on, and I got some grass to mow because with the hurricane and everything, all of a sudden my grass is growing like I haven't seen in a while. So that said, that's it. That's changing out the bushings on the drive shaft here. If you have any questions, comments, anything of the sort, please let me know. Any requests, let me know. And we'll see y'all next time on Zombies Garage. Oh, and by the way, if you like the shirt, here, let's take a look. You see, Zombies Garage t-shirt. If you are interested in having that shirt at all, or, well, not this shirt, I'm not sure you're going to want it. It's covered in sweat and mud and dirt. But there are some weirdos out there, who knows. If you are interested, though, I can make more shirts and I can sell them. If anybody's interested, I'm all about making money at this point in my life. Got to save for retirement somehow. That said, if you have any requests, anything else you'd like to further look at on this mower, comments, negative, positive, I don't really care. Let me know what you think, and I will see you all next time on Zombies Garage.